Hey there, action figure collectors. Thanks for joining me. I've been putting off buying this pair, but I went ahead and gave in. I was trying to find him at Walmart on clearance. I think it was down to $13, but I couldn't find them, so I ended up just buying it off of Amazon for only a minor discount. I chose this pair as opposed to the Grandmaster and the Collector, mainly because I wanted Korg. Although there are some things about Korg I don't like, and we'll get into that. So let's go over the Grandmaster first. This is an excellent likeness of Jeff Goldblum, and he is such a quirky guy that this character was really perfect for him, and the details for it are really nice. Now this robe can come off technically. You can see all the details in there. He's got that little cover bund, and he's got some Jesus sandals with some nice blue toesies. But if you were to take off this jacket, it would look funny because you'd be left with this sleeve on his arm. He does come with this staff that basically turns people into jelly, but the figure looks great. I do prefer this straight face over the smirking face. Some people beg to differ. They like to have the expressions on the face, but I kind of wanted him to have this straight face. So why don't we go over articulation for him. His head looks like it's on a ball joint with a hinge, so everyone knows that it'll go forward and back. Goes back a lot. There's a little bit of lollipop syndrome. I don't know why Hasbro can't get that right for all the figures, because we've seen them get it done right. But you know, when it's sitting on him straight and not looking up, it's actually not that bad. So, but you can definitely see it in different areas depending on how you position him. And obviously it's got a little bit of head tilt as well, and can look side to side. His arms, this is just a regular socket joint for the shoulder, so it can go out about yay far. It can obviously go all the way around, although the clothing might hinder you a little bit. He's got double jointed elbows, so you can actually get him to bend his arms all the way up, which is really good. Kind of like that. On this side, it's only a single jointed elbow because he's got this robe sleeve on there, and that can go, if I force it, less than 90. As we had opened this up before, you can see he's got this torso twist right here, and he can tilt forward about this much, and he can tilt back. It gets hindered by the jacket, but he does tilt back a little bit, at least by that much, and he can bend side to side about that much. And let's see what his splits are. Pretty good splits. Let's see how far I can force it. There we go. Not that he needs to do splits, but he can get some pretty good range. He can kick pretty high forward, and then he can only get about that far back. I don't know if you can see that. I'm sorry, the lighting is not the best position here. There you go. About that far back. Not that far forward and back. If you were trying to make him do a front kick, and you combine the backward motion of this leg and the forward motion of this leg, he only kicks about that high. Again, not that he needs to do so. He's got double hinged knees. I can't quite get him to kick his own butt. And he's got forward rocking ankles with twist and ankle rockers. So overall, pretty good articulation in him. Not that he needs to do a lot of action poses. All he needs to do is basically stand there and poke people with this stick. So that is the Grandmaster. So we move on to Korg. And Korg apparently, where's his? Oh, here it is. I was like, almost forgot he had his weapon. Mine's a little bent. You need to go ahead and fix that with some warm water and cool it down. 2 tones. So you got the gold and this gray color. No shading on it. So this is club or mace. And I'm assuming it'll go in this hand. So let me just back Korg up a bit so that you can see him a bit better. So Korg's face, bring that closer. He's so big. So you can see his face. He's got a little smirk. It's hard to tell in this lighting, but maybe if I twist the camera around this way so you can see more of my little man cave. But there you go. So you can see the smirk on his face. He's got his gladiatorial clothing on, including his shoulder pauldron. Not sure if that comes off or not. Doesn't feel like it. So I don't think it does. He's got this little apron for some more armor. Haven't figured out how to get that off, but again, I just opened this figure. And he's got some abdominal armor there as well. Now, what I don't like about this figure is that he looks really skinny. You know, for a rock figure, you'd think that he would be a little bit more stout, especially in this mid-region. It looks very long because of that. And I'm not sure if his arms are quite long enough compared to the rest of him. So his legs seem really, really long. Maybe it might be okay. I think it's just mainly this torso that's bothering me. But he's got some nice rock sculpted details. You know, he looks like the movie character. I'd prefer if this was colored like they did in the cartoon or the comics, but you know, this is a movie figure. It's not a comic character or a comic figure. So good rock details, good details on the armor. You know, there's some blood paint or red paint for blood, I guess, that's on his armor. Not Not much detail, not much color on here. Can't tell if there's a wash or not in this lighting. I should probably change the color of my lights out of this daylight color into more of a yellow, and maybe it might look a little bit better. Let me just fix this back over here. Alright, so might as well go into articulation. So his head does not move that much. So it moves forward this little. It moves up that little. And it's really because the sculpt hinders his head from moving up and down, I believe. Let me see if I can force it. Let me see if I can pop it off. There we go. So, yeah, there's very little movement backwards. It may just be in terms of the head movement going forward, is because this might be stiff. I can try and see if I can bend this down a little bit. So technically, you should be able to get this pretty far down forward, but his chin may be more of the hindrance in terms of that. But there you go. So you can get him looking down that much, which is better since he's a tall figure. Probably won't really need him looking up pretty high anyways, but that's good. And there's a little bit of tilt, and obviously you can twist his head. Shoulder is in a socket. There's no butterfly chest joint in either figure. Now his arm can only go out that far because of the sculpt. And let's see it on this side. I'm assuming it's going to be hindered as well. But you can see they're about even, if not the left arm can go a little bit higher than the right arm. Obviously this should be able to go all the way around, which it does, and it does on this side as well. There is double jointed elbows, better than 90 degrees, again hindered by the sculpt, and I'm assuming it's going to be the same on this side. Oh, even better. So the sculpt allows a really good flexion in the arm on this side, so that's great. And his torso, he's got both a torso and a waist swivel. So with the torso swivel, obviously you can go that way, waist can go that way. Torso can also bend forward that much and bend backward that much. And the waist just turns. But alright, now trying to look and see what type of, so you should be able to get a great splits on this guy. Here, let me again move the camera this way so that the lighting's a little bit better. So you can see the way that the hip joint was made. You should be able to get really good splits. There you go. Much better than your standard figures. Forward kicking may be a little bit limited. It does look limited. So forward, I can only get him to kick about that much. Part of it is due to this apron. Backward is limited as well because his sculpt in his butt hinders that. So his knee joints, these look like they are double jointed as well. He can basically kick his butt. It's almost there. I'm assuming that's going to be the same on both sides. Yeah, you can force him to kick it on this side. So you can probably get some good fighting gladiator scenes. And that's really why I bought this one figure, is I like figures that have a lot of like sword play. His ankles, forward, backward, ankle joint with rocker. So decent articulation on this big guy. You wouldn't expect it. So, you know, if you looked at my collection video, then you'd probably notice that I have a section that uses more like Dungeons and Dragon type figures, and I'll probably use this guy in that as opposed to just putting him in my Marvel display. If I do, then he'll probably go under my Thor Asgardian portion of it. Let me try and see if I can get this in his hand real quick for you. Wow. It's pretty stiff again, but got it in there. So he holds the club really nice. And I should be able to get some good fight scene pictures if I wanted to with this guy. So if you were lucky enough to get this guy for 13 bucks at Walmart, that is a total steal. Even 30 bucks is a great deal, because that basically breaks down to $15 per figure. 40 bucks isn't bad. 50 bucks depends on how much you like these figures. But thanks you all for joining me, and hope to see you soon. All right.